we went through a lot of, let's say, I might get to a point where I would call it actually physical abuse, not actually therapy. Because for us, we didn't think she was disabled. To me, it just felt like if I just pull that hand hard enough, it would straighten out. So even to date, when I'm dressing her, she tells me, "What? You do it with so much strength." And I don't feel, even when I'm oiling my own children, they'll be like, I'll be telling them, should I oil you first or you'll oil yourself? And me doing it, I don't notice that I use too much energy. But it's something that I picked from Wiwa. Because then I would see my mom trying to massage her hands and she would use energy. But because my mom had rheumatoid arthritis, which then I just thought my mom was sick. So I would see mom is not doing it hard enough. Maybe that's why it's not working. So then I would do it harder. I even remember this time, we ran away and hid under the bed so that I don't massage her. Yes. It was so painful to her. Yes, because for me, I thought this hand that is if I just pull it once, it will unlock where it is locked. Hi everyone, my name is Pauline Mushere.
I'm Delila.
And she's my beautiful baby sister.
Okay. It's a pleasure to meet you. I have wanted to interview you for a long time because I'm impressed by what Wiwa does on social media. I came across her first on Instagram and I'm so impressed by what she does. And sometimes it also makes me think about music therapy as a form of therapy for people who are living with developmental disabilities. But I want to hear your story, like from your childhood, when you were born, how old she is, and what time did you discover that she has cerebral palsy?
Wiwa is the third one in the family.
Okay.
Her birth and my sister's birth were very close. So I kind of felt that we didn't need other babies in the family because they were an added burden for me. Because I had now to take care of both of them. And my mom was more concerned about Wiwa than my other sister. So I ended up getting my other sister. So today, I don't think we are in good terms, but for so long growing up, would have so many fights with my younger sister who follows me, because I felt I didn't want this burden, and then now there was also Wiwa. I didn't want these responsibilities. I felt I was still a child. I wanted to be a child, but I couldn't because now there are other babies that needed my mom needed help with. But how we noticed that Wiwa had cerebral palsy on my side. I noticed that mom would be giving her longer baths and would be taking more attention in bathing her and massaging her. But that did not bother me. When it bothered me was actually when I would go to visit my grandma's place and the extended family members would be asking me if my sister's hands have become flexible. And I would wonder why. But then when another one asked and another one, now I paid attention. That's when I actually noticed that my sister's hands are here. Most babies have their hands here, right? But then hers were a tighter clenched fist, and the hands were tighter and very hard to move from this place. And they rarely moved. A child will have their hands here and then they'll move. Wiwa's didn't move. Like this was her permanent position at that age. That's when I paid attention and noticed that. And then now growing up, from there, the milestone, I don't remember how she achieved the smaller milestones, but I do know that she had trouble walking and talking. Then she would have a drawl. Those are the ones I noticed. But those just, to me, they didn't seem like a disability. Because as a child back then, I would learn about persons with disability. And in Kiswahili, I would learn about Kiwete, Kiguru, Kipofu, a cripple. I'll have names of all these disabilities, but there was no specific name that would fit my sister's description. So to me, she was just a child who is growing, and she will get to that point in life. That's what we thought. So when the drool, when she was drooling, it would bother me. So we would try to teach her how to close her mouth so she can stop drooling. For walking, okay, we didn't really try to teach her to walk. We solved the walking problem. Where we needed her to go, we would carry her.
Yeah.
I would carry her, being the older sibling. So mostly you find I would play with children her age rather than my age bracket. Because my age brackets didn't want her around because she was drooling. And because of the drool, she had a funny smell. But her age mates were quite okay.
They didn't mind.
They didn't mind.
Yeah.
So you find I would carry her to where her age mates were playing. We were skipped the crawling stage. We didn't crawl. We did not also, the way kids start taking one step at a time. She didn't do that. For such a long time, she was what we can call like a butt shuffler. She would pull herself on the butt. That was quite allowed at home because the floors were cemented and it was safe. But whenever we were going out in public or outside the house, that's when I would carry her. Yeah.
And so the part where you're saying your age mates didn't like want to hang around with her, do you usually feel like you missed out a phase of your life because of being like the primary, secondary, like the junior parent?
Oh, I do. 100%.
Yeah.
I seriously felt
that
I missed so much of my childhood. Because while my age mates were busy, being their age, I was busy being underage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I lost out. I missed out.
Yeah.
I didn't form like bonds that would be, you'd have like a childhood best friend you're very tight with. No, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I had friends who were very tight with, but they would have to be friends with me and my sisters, all of us. So those are the friends I'd have, which were like one or two. Actually, growing up, I had one tight friend.
Yeah.
Yes. And we'd go to her mother's place and the mother would even clean us. I liked my mom very much. That girl's name was Grace Gwendolyn. She's actually a police officer today. Yeah.
So the other thing is, you mentioned that her hands were always clenched over here, but now I see they've flexed out a bit. So I'm just curious, is it therapy? Like, how did you get to this place where her hands are a bit flexible?
So that is not how. Okay, maybe it helped or it did, but because it's a cerebral palsy affected a certain part of her. There's a part of her brain that has been affected, the nerves. So at times when it is hot, there's how the hands are. If it is cold, there's how her hands are. So there will be a season where both hands will be down. There'll be a season both hands, one hand would be here, another one would be up. There's a time you'd find it's this hand that's up, this one is down, or they switch. Now, eventually, from all this flexing, eventually the hands left the chest and they just settled at a distance. Yes, that's how it actually happened. But I do remember she had a therapist who would come home and she would get the therapy she needed. Yes, and then it got to a point, even her, she didn't want it anymore because it was also painful. Yes.
So now, at what point, do you remember, like, what point age where you, like, for real got the diagnosis, this is cerebral palsy, and these are the therapies you need to involve for her, like a form of early intervention? Or you just proceeded mpaka at some point in adulthood, you're like, oh, it was cerebral palsy. Like, did you get a diagnosis per se?
No,
Our mother got the diagnosis. Well, we were 6 months. Yes. But then she did not tell us because I never knew my sister had cerebral palsy. Plus, back then, there was little information on. But I do remember at times I'd go through my parents' drawers and I found X-rays of my sister's brain. And by then she had teeth and I saw everything. And that's when I knew the problem. There was this note that said something about the nerves. I asked my mom about it and she explained that my sister's problem is somewhere in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the only communication I had. But I didn't know if she ever got to know where she was supposed to take my sister for therapy or anything. I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. We didn't communicate. We didn't have that talk
Conversation.
before she died.
Yeah.
We actually never got to have that candid conversation from we was journey. I never got it.
She was told.
She was?
Told.
Yes, I know she was told.
Or I know there.
Oh?
There.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was told?
Or I know there.
Oh, mom was told that all we were needed was therapy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why she also had someone do therapy at home. And that's why she must have been massaging her.
Yeah.
Yes. But I have no idea. Were you taken to Kerugoya for therapy?
No. That time, high school.
That time there was no
Yeah.
physiotherapy.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's not like today.
Yeah. Today, every church goes there. Yeah.
Okay. So now Wiwa has gotten to an school going age. So how was that like? Did you based on the little information your mom had, did you take her to a special school? Was it hard to get a school? Do you remember?
All I remember is first there's a time people would be asking if she'll go to school.
Yeah.
Because she didn't work for quite a long time.
Okay.
But at this point, her friends, I don't remember what they were planning to do. They wanted to go and play, and they didn't want to go with her. And I was also feeling mad at them. I couldn't get why they didn't want to, carry her or let me go with her. So all I remember is that we were shot up because she would pull herself with one foot while shuffling on her butt on the ground. So all I remember is we were throwing her feet up and standing and running. And for so long she would be running. And shortly after, was in school. As in after she walked, she was enrolled in school. But later, having conversations with Wiwa and Mom, I came to learn that Wiwa really wanted to go to school. From the moment she walked, the next thing she wanted to do was go to school. Because her friends would be at school during the day and they would play with her in the evening. So she also wanted to go where they go.
Yeah.
Which is school. Yes. So Wiwa wanted to go to school. She said she wants to go to school. By then, she was like a year older than the normal school
of her age.
School going age.
Yeah.
So Mom took time to find just a normal school, but that was low in population. Yes, that was also new. She also chose a school that is new, private school. A school that would be open. Yes, the school actually had two classes, nursery and class 1. Yes. And I remember being the parent in most closing days. I would go to get her gift. She was either number 2 or number 3.
So let me ask a question, but at this point, because you're every step of the way you're involved in your sister's life and your mom was still there, is it what created that situation where you're really involved? Is it the nature of your mom's job, or is it as a firstborn we feel the need we need to step up?
My mom's job was very demanding.
Okay.
She couldn't close it. Plus also being a firstborn.
Yeah.
And also, that natural instinct to step up and protect and fight for someone. I would notice that at family gatherings, my sister would be discriminated. Or I would hear people talking ill against my sister. So she was my project. I have to protect her. I remember when I noticed at her wedding that my mom paid for dresses for the girls, flower girls, for all of us, and we didn't get. She got a different dress. And when we were doing the matching, she was not allowed to match as one of the flower girls. And later I noticed they would look at her because of the drool and they would smear. And I remember then I think her hands were like this and like this. They were in the air then. So at that time I made it like my next project would make sure that my sister is not drooling. So you see, at that wedding, I had gone at a wedding. My mom is there, my father is there, my grandparents are there, my uncles, you know. But at that wedding, I felt so alone. Because, you know, my parents are out with other parents and other adults.
Yeah.
When we get to where the kids are, all the kids want to play with each other except with my sister. So where will I end up being?
You can't leave her.
I can't leave her. So I'll end up being with my sister. Or then I'll take my sister to where they are. You know, that was the situation at hand.
Yeah.
But also then, at times when now that I'm a parent, I wish my parents would have done it differently. They would have actually pushed me to go and be a child rather than help. Like, sit back and be like, oh, Pauline will step in. Pauline's got it. I really wish they actually took the time to go for the parents' meeting, to go for the award ceremonies, instead of sending me, because I ended up actually adulting so early.
Yeah. And parenting
So
your sister, and sometimes you're also the parent to your parents when it comes to your sister's issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Plus, there was too much domestic violence in my home.
Yeah.
So there'd be times when we would wake up and mom is not in the picture. It's nowhere. We don't have breakfast. And I have to figure out how we will eat, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not even a teenager then. So it was quite hectic.
Yeah.
Yes. For me as a child, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
For any child. I have no issue having a sister with cerebral palsy.
Yes.
I have no issue having a sister who has a disability. What I have a major issue is being made the secondary parent while you're too young. Yes, because it actually cuts you off your life. Yes. You end up not being parented. Yes.
And you end up parenting your parents.
You see, you're parenting the parents, you're parenting your siblings. Who's parenting you? Who's got you? So you end up not knowing what you're supposed to do for yourself. You know what everyone else is supposed to do, what they're supposed to achieve, but everyone except yourself.
Yeah. Yes. And then you end up looking like you're the most indecisive child because
Yes.
you never take time to understand what you want.
Yes. Now, that's how I have now, of late, I've come to realize why I was so indecisive about so many things in life. I'll take time to make the decision because I didn't know when to make that decision. But for my siblings, I'll be like, now is the time for this.
Yeah.
Now is the time for this. I really direct them very well. Yeah.
You know, I say that because I also find myself in a similar situation, given that I was a teenage caregiver to my sister. And so you really suspend a lot of things. You don't even realize that you're suspending your life. Yeah, and you just find yourself stepping up.
Yes.
You know. Yeah, so then, now when we were in school, I'm curious, because you took her to a normal school, right?
Yes.
Like, what was her experience with other kids and teachers, everybody around her?
How was your experience?
It
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was actually better than the special school.
Ah,
By the time she got to the special school, we was done with her education. She was like, I'm quitting school.
because of being in the special school.
Yes, because we were actually
No,
paid.
but no, you're perfect. You go to this school, no one is there for you. Yeah. So
in an integrated school,
yeah.
you find people to help you. Other
Yeah.
children will help you
Yeah.
out. When it's feeding time,
They'll
they'll step up and help you.
Fighting, who will feed you?
Yes. If someone is bullying you or fighting you, they'll step up and fight the battle for you. But now in a special school, there came a time when the government was doing the assessment for all children with disability, and so that they can be placed to the special school that best suits their disability. So I was also the one that took my sister for that assessment. Again. And the assessors were very pissed. They were so pissed off. I was surprised I'd done something wrong. Because I've always been the one for admission, In school, I did it. When it's parent day, I'm the one. When this is needed, I'm not taking it. So when it was time for my sister to be assessed, I did the normal thing. My parents did the normal thing. They gave me transport with my grandfather and we took her for assessment. At that time, my parents had separated. So my father thought it's better to fund me and my grandfather to go and do my sister's assessment. Yes. Instead of actually him going or my mother going. So when we got to the assessment center, we were rejected. We were sent away and we were told to come back the next day. Was it the next day?
No, the next week.
The next week.
The last day.
Yes. The next week for assessment, and now she should come with the mother.
Yeah, that is good.
So now that is the time.
I don't know that.
But then my father still wouldn't fund our mom. So so it's my father who wins.
Yeah.
And in one of the assessment forms, he actually said that my sister had a problem with walking.
And everyone saw her.
And everybody saw her walking.
He was that.
You was also sent away?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he ended up? Oh, so now the next time now you went with mom.
Me, mom, and Babu.
Oh, so that now, I think now, after he was sent away, the next time now, he get, then other week now, this is the third assessment. The third assessment now, my father now agreed to finance my mom to take over now for the assessment.
Yeah.
She was assessed and she was placed in
That's why I don't answer.
there. Oh, that's the time she knew she had cerebral
I
palsy.
know class 4.
How old are you?
Class
I'm
4.
class 4.
Class 4.
Yeah.
11.
11.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So now from there, after that assessment, that's when she was taken out to a special school.
Yeah.
Where she was like, if this is the life, I'm done.
You just don't go. You go for interview.
So she went now to she was
Go
interviewed.
Wait for the results. You get
Okay.
So now after she was interviewed, you got the results, you accepted. Yes.
Yeah.
And then when she was admitted, yes, then now she went to the school. First time, you see, when she was being admitted, we were told that they'll have caregivers there or matrons who would be helping them dress up and, feed and what have you. But when she got to school,
No, they can give us there. They just don't there when you need them.
so the caregivers were actually there, but they're not there when you need them.
Yeah. Cause they come and take them and take them.
They are gone.
You're supposed to be at class. So either choose to be yourself to be in this cell.
Yes.
Yeah. So I choose to go to class and to wait for the caregiver to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where she Madisad school.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, at that time, you see now, it's either the caregiver will come in at 8. We report work at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be in class by 8 a.m.
Yeah.
By then, she's supposed to have had, what time would you have breakfast?
The bell, 5:30.
So the bell will ring at 5:30.
Yeah, wait. 6:30. Yeah.
You're out of the door
Yeah.
by 6:30.
Yeah.
What time will you have breakfast?
You go take breakfast.
At what time?
6:30.
So 6:30 you're supposed to take breakfast. And we would need a caregiver when she woke up to help her get dressed. This caregiver is coming in at 8. So that means she has had to find someone to dress her, someone to help her feed with her breakfast, and now she's in class by 8 by the time the caregiver is coming. If she has to wait for the caregiver, she will be in trouble because she'll be beaten for
Being late.
getting late, and then she'll also miss breakfast.
Yeah.
You get? So she had to try and make friends. And the friends by then, the other children with disability in her dorm were not that friendly. So they would refuse.
No, they just bully him for nothing.
So they would bully her for nothing.
For being the newcomer.
For being the newcomer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember when first term came to an end and she came home. She was so dirty. She had purple stains, black stains, yellow. She had that, I don't know from which month. So I remember I took a stone, a gunia, and a brush.
Guy, you're going to
Went
wash
to
her.
clean her. I think she must have experienced excruciating
Was it
pain.
painful? We were.
Definitely it was. If I was undoing it, it was painful. It was painful.
Yeah.
That one I can assure you. Yes. I do know even my babies, when I was washing them, I wouldn't be the soft kind. I don't have a soft touch because I grew up, ready to fight battles from whatever angle they came from. Yes. So I remember washing her that time. And then when it was time now to go back to school, we were refused to go back to school.
Why?
Because of the bullying that was happening in that school.
Ah, okay.
Yes, she was really bullied.
She's the one who refused to go to school.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell her to just go for that 1 year until the year ends.
So, 1 year, I just couldn't go back.
Akakata shule after the end of the year.
That was class 4. Class 6.
I still have to 6 and long.
But then it was tough for me because then now imagine things at home are not okay.
Yeah.
Our parents are separated.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much happening. I'm in a boarding school. My other sister is now, I could picture that my other sister now is having to literally parent her. Because then we were living at our grandparents' place. And my grandmother being old, it was also not helping with my sister, with Wiwa. So that means Wiwa was her older sister's full responsibility. And the difference between them is 1 year.
Yeah.
So I'd feel it's quite heavy on my other sister. And I remember explaining to her, back there, we would find it even hard to have food. It was not, we don't come from a dry land. There was just no food. I don't understand why. So I'd be asking her, why do you want to stay here and there won't be food? There won't be someone to take care of you. The facilities here, the supplies here are limited. You go back to school, find a way to get through. If it is even feeding, you can eat by putting, like the way cows eat, you put your mouth in the plate and eat your food like that. We are trying to solve a problem.
Yes.
If it is bathing, you could put soap on the wall and then rub your body on the wall. It's not a literal meaning that I was going for. I was trying to ask her to think out of the box. Think out of the box. Yes, because eventually she found ways to do things out of the box. Yes, like how does she wash her clothes with her feet? That's an out of the box thought.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
How does she operate her phone today with her feet or with her lip? It's thinking out of the box. That's all I was asking of her back then.
Yes.
Although now whenever I say it, I'm like, God, that was so
That was so... You cringe at your own instructions. We were. Did you used to think your sister is being mean? Okay.
No, I was,
You're just rough.
I was tough.
Yeah. Tough.
Because the world around her was tougher. I was protecting her from so much.
Yeah. And the world is unfriendly.
She was literally the cage, the girl in a glass, in a glass house, tower. She knew very little. We would protect her from so much.
Yeah.
From the extended family, from the neighbors, from our friends, from what the community was saying. I remember back in time, there's a time like all my age mates would be told not to play with us because our parents sold Wiwa, that's why they were rich, that she had been sacrificed to the devil. So children didn't want, those who were quite enlightened or older, didn't want anything to do with me because I'd bring my sister. and we had to keep it away from her.
Yeah.
There are times we'd have people telling us she should not be going out, she should be kept like in a room in the house and never go out. We'd still be the ones sneaking her out because you cannot tell her that.
Yeah.
So we would really shelter her from a lot, protect her from a lot. So you as the older sibling, when you have this secret inside, you don't know what to do with it.
You're acting from a place of more information than her.
So you're processing her from more, which you cannot tell her.
Yes.
And then you also don't have an outlet to tell maybe your parents, because at that moment, our parents are not together maybe, and by the time you see your mom or you see your dad, there are other issues, more important issues
to address,
than who called you guys witches.
Yes.
There would be hunger, there would be I don't know what. So we would be protecting her from a lot. So for her, she thought home was better. But for us, we were like, no. I won't be okay at school knowing you're not at school. So please go back to school.
Yeah. Yeah. So did she finish the class? Did you go back and finish class 8?
She went back.
She went back. Okay.
She went back to school. Yes, did her the whole 844.
Wow.
Yes. 8 years. 4 years in primary. Another 4 years in high school. Yes, but this time around when she went back, she had a few snacks. Then she got into the right dormitory with her classmates. So this time she had friends. So she'd know who to ask. You're actually in a community where everyone has their own disability.
Yes.
So she would know who to ask for what help. Yes. Then she made friends, she got her best friend, and they know how to have a symbiotic relationship. Yes. And that's how she actually went through her education.
Yeah. And at what point do you realize her love for music or her love for being a DJ?
No, we were actually loved music all along.
Yeah.
You see, when she started walking, she didn't walk at a small pace, at a slow pace. She ran. So we would be running everywhere, all along. But then, one thing that would slow her down was the beats. She would actually be able to walk or run by the beat of the music playing. Yes. Then even when before she could walk, when I was carrying her on my back, if music was playing, she would just be on my back, just dancing. And like how she's able to talk today. Those are milestones she made actually trying to sing songs. Yes. So I think music would actually have been a very good speech therapy for her back then. It had actually been noticed or someone had paid attention to it then. But all along we were loved music. And after she did her KCSE, she chose for tourism and business management. That's what she wanted to do because she loves traveling and she loves business. So that's what she wanted to pursue, and she was enrolled in college to do that. But before she was even done, our mom noticed a DJ playing, and she was like, by the way, this person is doing, because the course you're pursuing is a course you need someone to employ you. What if you got a skill that you can also use when you don't have a job? Why don't you consider DJing so that you have two things to earn a living from? So when mom mentioned it to we were liked it. She fell in love with it. She came up with a name. Before she was even done with her first semester, she had a name. She wanted to be DJ Wiwa. She even had a tag made like this one you have on her hand. She had a different one then. Yeah, and that's how things evolved. That is how her passion for DJ was actually, picked, and she loved it. She took it to the heart. Because we actually saw her through tourism and business management as her siblings. We did that. So we explained it to her after she cleared. Now, since every one of us has been able to take themselves to school, you have these papers. Find a job with these papers, once you get a job, pay for the DJ lessons. And she couldn't find a job. I took her around to apply for jobs. We did drop several applications, CVs. Some would even see them putting it in the dustbin as we walk out. Then we opened a business for her. I would see people in town, hawkers who sell earrings. So we suggested that to her.
No, she told you.
I chose it.
No, you don't. You won't give me money.
Yes, we told her we won't give her money again because now she had cleared
Even pocket money.
even pocket money. Because we were pushing her out of her comfort zone. Yes, we were pushing her.
I want to look what.
So we.
But just I don't say that.
Yes.
We just come here.
Yeah, so I had seen hawkers selling earrings in town, and I felt this is something she can handle. It is light enough. Maybe she can be able to do it to earn her own, small pocket money. So I gave her the idea. We opened the business for her. My mom got earrings. We looked for earrings that were not in wear. Yes.
She looked all what
I saw.
yes.
And that's how it started.
Yeah.
So she would sell earrings. She would carry them in a small paper bag, and she would go selling door to door. And the good thing with people from Moya, they knew her, and they were happy to see that she's not begging. She's selling something. So they were willing to support her for that. So they would buy from her. Others would actually donate. Others would buy on wholesale. And eventually she had money. She now expanded the business from selling earrings to selling clothes. So she would sell clothes and earrings. She would be hawking both.
Yeah.
And I think in Anya also, you had said 30,000. She had 30,000, which was the school fees she needed. Now the only thing we needed to chip in was the accommodation, food, transport, Yes, that we did. Found a school for her. I think you had also found a school. She knew of a school. So she gave me the name of the school. The school happened to be somewhere along the road. I popped in to inquire if they could admit her. And they were reluctant because they wanted to know her grades first.
And how she'll be maneuvering.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember telling the owner of the school, please do not ask me for her papers. Because I don't think her papers will tell you
what you need.
Her abilities.
Yeah.
Just give her a chance to do this because I know she uses her feet. And they said we can come in for a week and then they'll let us know if she'll continue. So I just told my mom, they said she can come in. I didn't tell her for a week. I kept that information to myself.
Yeah.
So I told her, they said we can come in. No, I told mom that we can come in for a week. Mom could not tell Wiwa that because now she has the whole school fees.
Yeah.
So they paid all the school fees. Yes, they paid the full school fees. And she was admitted.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, first week, I remember us giving her advice that the best thing for her to do would be get to class very early and leave after, take time after classes to still polish up. So that really helped her. She was the first one in class, first to get to class, first to leave. So you see, she got more time with the teachers. Yeah, eventually, even her her other classmates, people can be very, laxed about something.
Yeah.
But then someone comes into the picture and everyone is feeling challenged. So when we was admitted into that class, other students felt challenged. Like, if she's doing this, why am I finding it hard?
Yeah.
If she's learning, why can't I learn? So she changed the mood of the class. Remember, it was quite an lackadaisical kind of manner to now very inquisitive, very involved kind of way.
Yeah.
Yes. And in a short while, she was ready. Yeah.
Because I've seen her on Instagram. I've seen she's been on events, even she's traveled.
Yes.
And everything. So how has that been for you, Iwa? Being a DJ and traveling?
It's a dream come.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I tried.
Yeah.
I almost gave up, but I did not.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's really encouraging because it's you admire her work. Yeah. And the part where you never gave up, you still continue doing it. Yeah.
She got to the point where she felt this is it.
Yeah.
She's ready to quit. Even after before she graduated, her story got to the media, and the media loved it. Kenyans, even though Kenyan DJs donated the deck she uses.
Oh wow.
Yes, Kenyans were able to contribute money for her. She bought a laptop and a few machines, but she was not able to get her first gig for a year.
Yeah.
Yes. So first year she didn't get a gig, a paying gig, imagine. And she didn't give up. I don't know how many of us have the kind of support she has.
And resilience.
Not just, you need a support system that can hold you for a whole year. Like a whole year.
Yeah.
Who has such a support system? I really wish I was her. That you can go a whole year plus. People are just taking care of you. You have, that'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I'm taking time to grow your career.
And then COVID came.
What?
Yeah, so COVID came and then lockdown, So.
Yeah.
So it's 1 year, you've not had a job.
Then
COVID comes, there's lockdown,
So
there's
no events.
all the events.
curfews.
Yes.
So it's now 2 years down the line.
And then my mother died.
And then our mom passed on during this time. So
So the car.
Yeah.
But the good thing is she didn't give up. And also for us as the family, we had noticed that this is her passion. And we'd seen this is something that can actually get her to earn a living. So we were still urging her to hold on. I'll be telling her, you don't worry, what do you need? You're living here, you have housing, you have, everything you need. You just don't worry, just give it time. Give it time. And their times should be so broke. I'm also equally very broke. And we'll just be there.
Two broke people.
Two broke people. But then, with time, you keep marketing, you keep mentioning it. Eventually, God opens doors.
That's
the
true.
next thing, you're like, I remember one time I was bargaining with someone to pay her 10,000. And I was, we were so used to 5,000. And I kept feeling this 5,000 is little. So I remember this time I was bargaining with someone. I wanted them to pay 7,000. And so I started at 10,000. Shortly after that, I would be quoting in dollars. I would be quoting in thousands of dollars. And I would, out of my head, I'd be like, no, you can't. She just reminded me the other day. See, you're not the one who would be bargaining. Now I'll tell her. Then I didn't understand your work and the kind of inspiration and the spaces you're filling.
Sometimes when you struggle so much to get somewhere, and then you're like, you start having that feeling of, is it really it?
Yes.
Or is it going to peak?
Yes.
Or then you don't even realize when you're shortchanging yourself, when you should actually be putting your work out there.
Yes.
But then again, over time, it's a process. That's what we would say.
Yes. It's been a process, but it's a lovely journey.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been a lovely journey. It's been, I've watched her grow, and my heart has been at peace. Yes. It has given me the peace I lacked as a child. Because, I would be so tense, I'd be always ready to fight. Now it's I've gotten answers for questions I didn't know I had back then. Like after mom died, everyone would be asking me, where will she go? Where would she go? And also, at a point, I also stood and asked myself, where is she going? Because these are things you didn't even notice they existed, but people are mentioning it, and you're like, this is supposed to be a question I need to have an answer to.
I should have thought about this.
Yes,
Yeah.
that I should literally, like knock on the coffin and be like, wait, before tukuzike, anaenda, because I don't understand this question.
So what was the plan?
Because it's the fact that it didn't seem like a thing to me.
Yeah.
It was, it's like, do you have a plan to blink?
No.
Do you have a plan on what time you'll breathe? You don't. You can plan your meals, but you never plan when to breathe.
That's true.
Or to blink. So when people kept asking me that question over and over again, I even stopped and asked myself, am I being irresponsible?
Wait a minute.
Because I don't know the answer to this, or because it didn't cross my mind? Or should we have actually put it on the, on the funeral committee, like we discussed about it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because to me it was so natural. She was home.
Yeah.
Either way, she's okay. Wherever she is, she's quite okay. And I'm like, is this something?
Did I miss?
Yes. But then, much later is when I realized. You see, by then I was not interacting so much with other persons with disability. And then now that I'm with her so many times, and the places where she's being invited to, there are disability spaces. I come to learn that that's a big question.
Yeah.
I come to learn that
it's a big
so
fear.
many children with disability do not have acceptance in their families. So many of them are not loved in their families. So many of them are not protected. They are not seen as human being first. It's their disability that is seen first. So now I came to understand why everyone kept asking me that question. Because then,
like, what kind of question is that?
I never understood why is she good? Nothing was
and people keep asking, where is she going? Does she need help? Me, I'll be here, stretched, living my best life, sleeping on the couch. I know if she needs help, she knows how to ask for it. So if I see her going out the door, it will not bother me. Yet at an event, she will move and someone will call me. She's not there. Is she okay? Can we help? She knows how to ask for help if she needs.
Yeah.
She's human. She's free.
Yeah, before that disability, she has needs. She wants to move from point A to point B. You don't like the moment she sits there, she doesn't have to sit there until the end of the day.
Yes. So, and she also doesn't need like a bodyguard following her. So these are issues that I didn't know actually existed until people brought them out. That's why I realized, what?
It's a thing.
People see the disability before the person.
Yeah.
For us, all her childhood, growing up, we never saw the disability. I think that's what really helped her.
Yeah.
Because, when she couldn't walk and she was bad shuffling, it didn't clock in my head that she might never walk.
Yeah.
No! It never at one point hit me. She may never walk. When she was running everywhere and falling all the time, because when she shot up, she did. You need hands for balance, so she didn't have the use of her hands. That means she couldn't find balance easily. So she would fall a lot, and she would have marks and scars. I thank God. I think she was also given special genes for clearing scars.
If her body could speak.
Oh my God. The scars she has today, they're so stubborn, they don't heal. I don't understand how they don't heal. But there's a time my sister would have more scars than skin on the face. She would fall at least on the least time 3 times and get hurt. That's fall, get a bruise.
Fall again, another bruise.
Yes. At times, she would have like one bruise here. She has like a whole side of bruises. And we never took the time to think she maybe it would be safer if she stayed at home. No, we would literally sneak her through the fence, back doors. Never.
Yeah.
I think us seeing the human bit of her really helped.
Yeah.
Us seeing, because even today, you'll find like today I don't have a nanny. All I want to do is make dinner and then I'll go out to work. I might be home earliest 1 a.m. So I expect her to put the kids to bed. I expect the kids will bathe. I expect the kids will have dinner. I expect the kids will do their homework. I expect they will be parented. And at the same time, I expect the kids will also parent her. They'll make sure she eats at least and she's covered in bed. That you get her. So we as a family we've seen her more as a sister than as a disabled sister. It's actually people who remind me that she's a person with disability. Or at times she reminds me herself. And I'm by the way.
Be gentle with my hand.
Yes. 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 Like we traveled over the weekend and my youngest child was leaning on her chest. And so Monday morning we were telling me her chest is paining. And I'm like, jutu ya kulaliwa kifua dakika mbili. Then she reminds me, unajua niko na cerebral palsy. Then that's when now I'm like, oh yeah. You get that? Because even her chest was still paining yesterday. So the disability comes
as an afterthought.
It might not even come as an afterthought. After years later, that's when I remember I should not have said that to her because one, she's a person with disability. This might have been very hard for her to do. But that's years later. That's the issue was seen and I treated her the way I treat my other sister or the way I treat any other person.
And that helps her to not mask her disability, to like maneuver and find things that are working for her and she's comfortable with.
Yes. That is one thing that if I wouldn't change anything in life, is how we treated her. That is something I wouldn't change. Because if we had treated you any special way, she would be more of a dependent than she is now. Because right now she's a companion, she's a sister, she's
a friend,
She's not someone who depends on me 100%.
Yeah.
She depends on me for a few things. Once those things are sorted, then she can have a good day. Yes. She's really been able to be independent because of how we treated her. Yes, we treated her like one of the children. We would be jealous if she was not disciplined. We'd have issues. Like there's this time we needed to contribute some money for a family member. And we asked her, how much are you contributing? And she was completely jobless. And we knew. And we insisted she has to contribute. Even if it's 10 bob. She has to contribute. She seriously refused. She cried. And we told her, you're making it so hard to raise what we feel right now. But it's important. As a member of this family, as a sister, as a bigger sister to our brother, since all the older people are contributing and we fall into that category,
you have to contribute.
She did contribute. Our mom actually contributed on her behalf.
Yeah.
But that actually got her to know eventually that tunachanga sisi wote kulingana na vile, according to your ability.
Yeah. Yes. And it also fosters this thing of she doesn't feel left out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It helps.
So, through this journey, let me take you back, or let me ask a question. When it comes to menstrual health and menstrual health, okay, let me ask that question again because I can't. When it comes to menstrual health, how did you broach that topic? Are you the people who taught her? Was she taught in school? How did that go about?
I have no idea.
Who taught you?
Before I went to boarding school, my mom told me, you see that I don't know for what I'm doing. I don't know. So much quite we go around with it. And try up my name. Okay, you're see good because I see good. But then in the 6 tukafungua kwa science
Oh.
kalea
Mhm.
iko next so mnaikomanzia kano
Mhm.
chai kano na ukinyesha unafanya yeah so that's how I learned so
Oh.
yeah.
And she actually got parented.
Mhm.
No one taught me about periods.
I know, me
My
too.
mom and I never had that conversation.
Me too.
My mom and I had the weirdest conversation. It was not actually a conversation. When I was going away to college, she had these, she had these pornographic magazines. So she left one on top of my suitcase and a carton, not as packet, carton of condoms. So I found them on top of my suitcase. Like I went to get a taxi. When I came back, they were there, and my mom was nowhere to be found. So I just carried my bags and I left. And then I put them in the suitcase. And I came to college. But the week before, she kept telling me that there's a place in Nairobi where college girls just go and sit and men come and choose girls they want. So I think that was her biggest fear. Yeah.
I think they just echo their biggest fear. For me, my dad was being teenage mom and having a child out of wedlock, like when I'm not married. And it caused a very big rift between me and my dad, by the way, because sometimes they approach you from the point where they are worried that you are going to that direction, that they are afraid. So they come at you as if you've already done the thing that they've been dreading you to do. So what they are doing is they are disciplining you preemptive. They preempt and then discipline.
Yes.
For me, that's what happened. You know?
Oh, so sorry.
But now, much later is when I'd asked Dad, why are you against ABCD? You told me this and you told me the other thing, and I think it was very harsh. You could have, So now he will sit you down and now tell you a story that maybe take you 50 years back and tie it back to today. Why he told you the way you. So you've been scarred, you've been traumatized, you've healed. You just need closure,
And the trauma is too much. At times it never leaves. Even when you get closure.
And I feel like firstborns, we suffer for everybody.
Yes. We suffer a lot.
You're being disciplined for things that you should not be disciplined. Like today there are things I usually ask my mom, do you remember you beat me for? Yeah, I answer, was it necessary? No. So why did you beat me? Because you're my first child and I was just learning. I'm like, wow. And then with the second born and with the third born, they tone down. Then you have to parent. Huwezi enda kucheza. Like there are so many things you can't do because your siblings need to tag along. And for me, like the biggest issue I had was my sister followed me everywhere. I remember telling my dad, I was so agitated. So I told Dad, can you ask Sarah to stop following me? Then my dad told me, what happens is, instead of now telling me she's young and you're her friend and she sees you as the person she looks up to, she haizi acha kukufuata. So what my dad told me was, she cannot, the day we get another baby, she'll stop following you. Wacha ningoje. See, I waited for another baby. See, I waited. When my brother came, both of them started following me. It was a double tragedy. As in, for me now, I found there is no day they don't follow me. Like, it's been much later when I've realized it is not, you don't pass on responsibility. They look up to you because you're the eldest. You motivate them, you inspire them.
Yes. Stop following me.
Yeah. I'm justifying you following your sister.
They would follow me everywhere. I didn't know until the other day that they looked up to me. I was their goal.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I wish they told me that. I would have felt really nice. It would have done a lot for my self-esteem. Knowing that these people look up to me, it would have been very good. Yeah.
DJ Wiwa, what are your future plans?
My future plan is to have an empire and entertainment empire. Yeah, probably. In industry.
Yes.
Yeah. And also Como canta é?
She wants to be ready.
Eu não quero que essa tem.
Yeah.
She wants soft life.
When you baby girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're already doing it. You know, like my dad used to tell me, it's a one step at a time. The fact that nimekuona, you are on, I saw you on Tuko, I've seen you on KBC, you know, like it's these things that build up to something very big.
Yeah.
You know, as long as today you show up here, tomorrow you do another thing, like it's building a castle. You know, like the way they say Rome was not built in one day. Like one big thing was not built in one day. So today we are here, tomorrow something else, and then you won't even realize when you're getting there, as long as you don't stop. Yeah. So that people like us can just be feeding off. Sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, sometimes we'll post something on social media, and that day I'm not feeling like doing anything. I'm like, wow, you inspire me. Let me also, you know, like even us, we draw inspiration from you. So keep going.
Thank you.